involved with the Limerick players, a lot of tension in their faces, the same with the Kerry players. We're going to pause now for Aaron Navian. Great noise and great colour around the Gaelic grounds. A little bit dull overhead, but here we go with the Limerick team. Jason Stokes returning to their side, having missed most of the current season with a leg injury. Stokes is named in the half-forward line in place of Johnny Murphy. Damien and Michael Reedy are now on the bench. Stephen Lavin is at wing-back. Stephen Kelly at right half-forward. Kerry without Declan O'Sullivan and Seamus Moynihan through injury. O'Sullivan could be out for up to 6 weeks with a broken collarbone. Moynihan recovering from an ankle problem. Mark O'Shea has been given the left half-back position. Paul Galvin fills the vacancy in the half-forward line, and Dara O'Canada comes in at full forward for Johnny Crowley. The referee is from County Roscommon, Jerry Knievy. We're ready to go in the 2004 Munster Senior Football Final. Who will it be? Will it be Kerry for the 69th time, or will it be Limerick for the first time since 1896? They believe this is their day, they believe this match is their destiny, and they've waited for this game ever since they lost in Killarney. This time last year in the 2003 final. They feel they didn't do themselves justice, but Kerry out to prove a big point today as Eamon Fitzmaurice launches it in towards Mike Frank Russell, broken down by Johnny McCarthy. Stephen Lucy taking it away. John Galvin, the underage basketball international. They have a big job to do at midfield, and the first free of this final goes to Limerick. Tony Davis here with me. Tony, what are your thoughts on this?
First of all, Kerry won the toss and decided to play with a very, very strong wind. It was very wet earlier on, so I'd say on the ground they'll probably slip, but I see they're after throwing away the gloves. Also, Stephen Kelly's gone in full forward for Limerick, so they're moving all around the place so far. It hasn't really settled down yet.
Limerick and Murish Gavin getting ready with the line ball. Limerick really need to start this brightly. Well intercepted by Michael McCarthy. Now Mark O'Shea filling the Seamus Moynihan position, his 2004 position at left half back. We understand that if Moynihan is needed to come in to this game, talk all week that he would be fit enough, but the Kerry camp concerned that he may not be fit enough to play some part in the match. Here's Dara O'Canada. Now it's Tomas O'Shea. Really has matured, and that's no free to Kerry. Colin Cooper it was who ended up on the ground, and that's gone Limerick's way. And you can see it is extremely tense. And well, the first flashpoint for Jerry Knievy to deal with, and that decision to give Limerick the free has been overturned. He's going to throw the ball in.
Yeah, it's foolish by Mark O'Reilly and those as they have the free and they get the ball out of defence, because up there with the wind, Kerry could score from 45 yards, no bother.
And they've all moved in towards the ball. O'Shea has got a free and then gets involved with Stephen Lucy. Both teams extremely fired up for this.
Yes, if you remember back to their league game this year, it was fairly torrid stuff around midfield, and there was no quarter after given by both teams, so it's continuing the same theme today.
Now Dara O'Canada, just 1 point he scored in this year's championship, but made such an impact when coming on against Cork in the Munster semi-final. This well within his range. The wind behind him. Pineda has put it wide, and that's not the start the free taker wanted, or indeed Kerry. First wide. Seamus O'Donnell, the Limerick goalkeeper, instantly recognisable, but he was an injury doubt as well for them in the build-up to this game, but recovered from a quad muscle problem to take his place in this final. Here come Limerick. Conor Milan, who scored their only goal in this year's championship, being tracked by Tomás O'Shea. Milan, first point. That's a fabulous start for Limerick. 1-2 is tally in the 2004 championship. Kerry wanted to make a good start. Limerick have.
That's a great score by Conor Milan. You also have John Galvin gone in full forward now, and he certainly has a huge height advantage over Michael McCarthy, and I'm sure they're going to try and use him in there.
Diarmuid Murphy with the restart. It's Liam Hassett. Hassett finds some space, has options left and right. This is Paul Galvin. No, it's not. It's Stephen Lucy, and Lucy has been injured. He did go to ground very quickly, Stephen Lucy. Colliding with Paul Galvin. Here's what happened.
Yes, Paul Galvin seemed to have put his hand out and caught him. Paul at times sails close to the wind. He's more noted for his work rate than anything. He works very hard up and down the field.
Well, as you can see, Stephen Lucy is back to his feet, and he wants Seamus O'Donnell to come out and take this. In the meantime, you can see John Kwan receiving treatment. Oh, you got a shot of him there. That certainly would be a huge concern. It's very early in the game to be receiving treatment.
Limerick are a bit unlucky in this. You remember last year, after about 20 minutes, Limerick had all the possession, and Stephen Kelly got injured as well and had to go off, and had a huge effect on their game.
This will be Kwan's last year with the Limerick senior football team. Made his debut in '91. Eamon Fitzmaurice going after that. He's seen a lot of it and a lot of action. Stephen Lucy. Limerick, remember, made a really good start in last year's Munster final, but lost their way in Killarney. That was all the way in towards John Galvin, but taken by Diarmuid Murphy. Mark O'Shea remaining calm. And then slipping, and he's closed down, but O'Shea still in possession. Has support from Tom O'Sullivan. And O'Sullivan playing a risky game, but he's been fouled. And O'Sullivan then getting involved with Owen Keating.
That was terrific defending there by Limerick's full forward line, working very, very hard, not letting Kerry come out too easily.
Kerry have their free. Galvin for Kerry. That's a high challenge, a very, very high challenge. And the referee will have to take some action. Murish Gavin it was who caught Galvin high. We expected a physical encounter, didn't we?
Very much so. Limerick are physically very, very strong. And with John Galvin in full forward, I think they're going to play a simple game, just let the ball into him.
Eamon Fitzmaurice standing over this for Kerry. Darragh O'Shea, who was sent off in the league semi-final back in April. Kerry moving now. Galvin all the way to Eamon Fitzmaurice, who's finding gaps all over the place. Now he's closed down. That was for Owen Brosnan, and Kwan tidying up Jason Stokes. Indeed, it was Stephen Kelly who played it forward. Now Conor Fitzgerald has got his free. John Galvin, who's in at full forward, as Tony said, was giving him an option of movement, but Owen Keating is going to take this free for Limerick.
That was terrific play again by Limerick. Good run off the ball by Conor Fitzgerald. making space inside, and Limerick giving it first time. Limerick actually look very good inside the halfway line. There's good movement off the ball, and they're playing against a very strong wind.
Keating used to play soccer for Limerick City. Very much a Limerick Gaelic footballer now, and he's hit that very nicely indeed, and it's over. Limerick, against a very strong breeze, are leading by 2 points to no score. A very promising start by Limerick. As you can see, Diarmuid Murphy getting great distance on those kickouts. Jason Stokes in there. Lucy once more. Conor Milan. Mike O'Brien. Never really thought he would start at the full forward line. Stephen Kelly towards Owen Keating. Won't get to that. Tom O'Sullivan, John Galvin closing him down, Eamon Fitzmaurice, Tomas O'Shea. Bit of a block in on that, and it's Stephen Lucy for Limerick. And that was a bit loose from Lucy, and here comes Liam Hassett. Colin Cooper. Here's a chance for Mike Frank Russell. Oh, what a great goal! Limerick's great start has been wiped out by a lethal forward on top of his game.
That is just what it takes to win championship games. Two lethal forwards, good pass one to the other and into the back of it. Limerick cannot afford to give away soft options like that, because Colin Cooper drew the man, gave it off first time, and a splendid finish by Michael Frank. They will do it all day. Now Limerick has started very well. One opportunity and in the back of the net.
Well, one of the concerns among Limerick people this week was in that full back line with Mike Frank Russell and Colin Cooper, and they really went to town there with a fantastic goal from Mike Frank Russell. And Kerry are leading here, and Cooper has been fouled. That was Mark O'Riordan who brought him down.
You want to be very careful now, Derek, because he could get booked, because that's his second foul now. It's very interesting to see how Limerick will respond now. After a goal like that, they dominated the game so far. We're 10 minutes into the game. The next 5 or 6 minutes will be crucial for Limerick to batten down the hatches.
It was his first goal of the 2004 championship, Mike Frank Russell. William Kirby was beside him momentarily, just looking for it to be played short to him. But when your confidence is high, why not? Russell stealing a few yards. That looks very good. It is very good. What a turnaround in the space of 90 seconds or so. Kerry have arrived in this Munster final. He's got them all. Well, those last two passages of play very demoralising for Limerick. Here's Murdish Gavin trying to respond straight away to John Galvin. Murdish Gavin again. And Gavin's still going and being allowed to make a lot of ground, and he's been fouled on the way through by Eamon Fitzmaurice. But he really was allowed to carry that ball a long, long way.
That's great play again by Murdish Gavin. Drew a free. Actually, it was good defending by Eamon Fitzmaurice to get back. I suppose it's better to concede a free than concede a goal. And from that angle, they should take their point. No, it's a good start by Limerick. 12 minutes gone with this scoreline. I think they'd be very happy before the game started.
Well, we're still waiting for Murdish Gavin to get ready to take this free. has been scoring very well in the championship so far, 15 points to date, and this a pretty straightforward one for him to close the gap on Kerry, and Gavin does that with a yard or two to spare. Well, they'll be pleased with that response to Kerry's scoring spurt of a goal and a point in the space of a couple of minutes. Owen Brosnan has been working hard but hasn't seen a lot of possession. That was taken brilliantly off the toe of Paul Galvin. Stephen Lucy continuing to draw a lot of attention from the Kerry half-forward line. That time it was Owen Brosnan. And Limerick have a player down injured at the moment. And it's Murish Gavin. Well, he doesn't look all that happy at the moment, Murish Gavin.
No, and he's a crucial player to them, Dara, because he's a fantastic free taker, and his general play is very good as well. He's a good link man, especially with John Galvin in full forward.
Now this afternoon we're giving you the chance to win 2 premium tickets to the Bank of Ireland Leinster football final next Sunday, plus overnight accommodation in Dublin. To be in with a chance of winning this prize, just select your man of the match from this game, ring the number at the bottom of your screen with the team and the number of the player you've selected. The winner of the competition will be announced on tonight's Sunday game programme. There's Liam Kearns, 5 years in charge of Limerick. There's been steady progression every year. You go back through the records, go back to the mid-90s, Kerry beat Limerick by something like 20 points in a championship game. They've been moving closer and closer, but it takes such an effort to get over that winning line and turn those moral victories into silverware. Can they do it today? Kerry have shown their skill in front of goal with Mike Frank Russell. Stephen Lavin sending that in. Limerick have made a very, very positive start. Conor Fitzgerald going for the point and getting it. Well, that has taken some effort and some character as well from Limerick to recover from the shock of what Mike Frank Russell did to them and to be back level.
A terrific score by Conor Fitzgerald on the outside of his left leg from 14 metres out. Great response by Limerick to come back into the game. The intensity of the game around midfield is savage. The hits are very, very hard.
Very crowded, cleanly taken by Paul Galvin. Galvin now has William Kirby ahead of it. Jason Stokes closing down. That was played on the ground by Darrow Canada.
I'm just looking in at the Kerry full forward line. You have Michael Frank and Colin Cooper on their own within 50 yards of the goal. It's a nightmare for any back to be marking in that scenario.
Stephen Lucy with the free for Limerick. John Galvin, his target. Free to Limerick. And again, it's Owen Keating who's scored 1 already. It's a big ask from here. He is kicking into that strong wind. Taking his time over it, almost Ronan O'Gara-like in his preparation. A set routine from Owen Keating. He's got plenty of air on it. That's a fabulous point. No, it's not. It's gone wide. The crowd behind the goal seemed to be calling it over. But he did certainly get the distance right, but the accuracy was just off from Owen Keating. Some pushing in there, spotted by Jerry Kinneavy, the referee. Kerry have the free. Tomás O'Shea taking it. Darrow Canada going up for it. Here's Paul Galvin, a real chance for Kerry here as options inside. Galvin, great stop. Limerick did that very well. Johnny McCarthy was on hand. But what a fantastic save by Seamus O'Donnell in the Limerick goal. Galvin was clean through. It was at his mercy, but he couldn't convert. Conor Fitzgerald. Low towards Owen Keating. Out in front of Tom O'Sullivan. And they're doing this really well. Here's Stephen Lucy. Free in.
That's very cynical play by Kerry again. I think the referee should take out his yellow card and start using it at that stage. Anytime Limerick are anywhere within threatening distance of a goal, down they come.
Well, again, in that position over on the far side where they found space. This was Galvin down at the other end, Tony.
Yeah, it was a terrific save again, but it just shows the vulnerability of their full back line. Anytime Kerry go up the field, they look like at this stage they're going to score a goal. Terrific save. No wonder Liam Kearns is glad to have him back, his first choice keeper.
Murish Gavin for Limerick. They've got their point, and they lead once more in this Munster football final. And that really is a very good recovery when you consider the goal and the point from Mike Frank Russell, Kerry's only scorer so far. O'Shea. That's Mike O'Brien. After him, John Kwan there too. They get it away to Owen Brosnan. Brosnan closed down. The work rate from both teams at this stage is really something else. Now Colin Cooper. There was a crucial delay in there by Stephen Lucy. Chance for Kirby and Kerry. He's put it wide. Seamus O'Donnell just helping out the umpires. But he'll feel this should have gone over.
Oh, it was magic play by Colin Cooper again. When the ball was kicked, he was about 4 yards behind his man, ghosted in front of him and gave a terrific pass. William Kirby didn't even have to break his stride.
There's Liam Kearns. Kerry man, of course, in charge of Limerick. Well taken by Liam Hassett. Free in. We didn't expect to see too much clean catching in this match, but we've seen a fair few so far in the game. Conor Milan, who's scored a point, the player who gave away the free, and it's another opportunity for Darrow Canada. Wind, if anything, now has got a lot stronger. That's a nice strike from O'Canada. Well taken. Just short. Seamus O'Donnell taking it under the crossbar, and that Stephen Lavin has been fouled. Pressure off the Limerick defence for the moment. John Kwan. Mike O'Brien, his target. O'Brien has it. Space away from Eamon Fitzmaurice. Jason Stokes, they're pouring forward Limerick. Stephen Kelly was lucky to get that back. Then he's challenged by Tomas O'Shea. Free in. And again, it just gets a little messy.
Yes, here we see Stephen Kelly doing what he does best, running at defenders. And again, cynical play, pulled him straight down. Actually, Tomas O'Shea has now gone in centre-back. Eamon Fitzmaurice has gone out to the right-hand side. But again, there should be a tap-over free by Murray.
You wonder what is on for Limerick here at the Gaelic grounds. This to move further ahead. Murish Gavin once more, never going to miss from there. That's his third point. All been from place balls. 6 points to 1-1. And again, you look, and Kerry have only had one scorer in this match so far, which is surprising.
Yes, and they got that score and the goal and the point within about 90 seconds of each other. Limerick are doing very, very well against a strong breeze. If they can keep the intensity up, they're winning around midfield, then it should be a good day for them.
Could it be one of the greatest of all for them? Kerry well used to these days and well used to winning Munster titles. Mike O'Brien, Stephen Lucy, Stephen Kelly now. That's Aidan O'Mahony in front of it. Started the game as a cornerback for Kerry, and Kelly doing very well, holding it up, looking for options. And he's picked the wrong one. It's way over the head of John Galvin. Dermot Murphy intervening. Liam Hassett. That's Conor Milan with it, really making it so difficult for Hassett. That's great intensity from Limerick. And they've got the decision as well.
Yes, that's the Limerick are playing the type of game that Kerry started off this year trying to play. Working up. There's a lot of spectators coming onto the field. Upping their work rate and working so hard like Armagh did in the earlier game.
Wonder who he's playing for. Well, he's moving well. Limerick going well at the moment. Brilliantly out in front, Owen Keating for Limerick. Another chance. Oh, that's a disappointing miss from Owen Keating. That's only their second wide. 2 apiece on the wide score. That dog is still on the pitch up at the other end of the Gaelic grounds. But Keating did so well to get out in front there, and in many ways you think the easy part was to put it over the bar, but he fluffed his line. Limerick 6 points, Kerry 1-1. Owen Brosnan appeared to be held there by Jason Stokes. Here's John Quad. Galvin in front of him. Stephen Lucy has never been far from possession in this game so far. John Quad. All the way across, it's John Galvin going after it. And Galvin has it. Really well played by Galvin. Into Stephen Lavin. Lavin has scored a goal for Limerick. Unbelievable stuff. Up from left half back. And Limerick, we heard all week they believed. The fans will believe it now as well.
A terrific goal, taken like a corner forward. What a finish. They are playing so strong around midfield that Kerry aren't getting a break of the ball even.
Well, this is getting really serious from a Kerry point of view. Limerick, whatever they're giving their half-backs, whatever they do in training, they have scored 2 goals in this championship so far. Milan has got 1, the right half-back, and Stephen Lavin, the left half-back, has got the other one. They really love to get forward, and the finish was superb in front of goal from Stephen Lavin. 1-6 to Kerry's 1-1. John Kwan with the free. It's all going for Limerick at the moment. Mark O'Shea. He's fouled on the way out by Conor Fitzgerald. Paul Galvin. Kerry need a couple of scores pretty quickly. Russell had some space. That's punched away by Tommy Stack, who's the Limerick captain. Colin Cooper using his considerable pace to Mike Frank Russell. No angle bothers him, but he waits for support. He's got Owen Brosnan. Kerry haven't scored since the 11th minute, and that was Stephen Lucy who closed down Brosnan and put him off, and it ends wide. Jack O'Connor has every right, as do the Kerry selectors, to look extremely concerned.
Yes, I'm sure he is, because he'll be looking to get into half-time now, because Limerick are putting him under pressure all the time, and outside of Michael Frank and Colin Cooper inside, they really don't look like they're going to threaten the goal.
Well, we're play being held up to allow treatment. He scored the goal, Stephen Lavin. Look at it once more, set up beautifully by Galvin.
Yeah, John Galvin did very well to win the ball off Mike McCarthy in there and laying it off quite simply.
The dog was in there as well, who, while Limerick were celebrating, he was removed from the playing field by Jerry Kadibi, the referee.
If Limerick can shore up their full backline and not concede goals, then they have a real chance of taking Kerry today, because Kerry really haven't turned up yet.
Well, they won the toss. They decided to play with the aid of what's been a considerable breeze, but it hasn't worked for them. Maybe it will now. Liam Hassett. Johnny McCarthy coming across. That's a free to Kerry. Taken already. Eamon Fitzmaurice. Look how far forward he is. Here's Owen Brosnan. It opens up for Brosnan. Fantastic block. He was closed down so well by Jason Stokes, I think it was, and again some messy stuff.
Yes, Owen Brosnan gets some very good goals. Terrific speed, but fantastic block down. Brilliant defending by Paul Galvin getting back. Or sorry, Jason Stokes getting back to put in his hand to put him off balance.
The effort, the determination, the drive from Limerick, something else to watch. And Kerry need some scores before half-time just to get their confidence going again. Stokes again gets a hand to it. Here's John Kwan to Stephen Kelly. Kelly forward, Owen Keating his target. Tom O'Sullivan did well to get any sort of a hand to that. Tomas O'Shea. Liam Hassett. That's just gone off direction-wise. Darrell Canada was his target. Better from the Limerick full back line. Stephen Lucy again. Jason Stokes. Stokes fouled by Owen Brosnan. Just wasn't allowed to play the ball forward.
It's a similar start Limerick had last year, and they didn't take the scores. And what Kerry did last year is they brought Declan O'Sullivan out from full forward to centre forward, and it changed the whole game. Now Declan isn't here. Also in the league, Seamus Moynihan brought him back in the game, and he's not here either.
Conor Milan with the free, and look at the space that Conor Fitzgerald has. He's scored one already with that very cultured left boot. John Galvin, loads of players here. Here's Stephen Kelly. Look at the pace of Kelly. Needs some help inside, or does he? Kelly still going. Kelly got it across. Owen Keating was there, and the ball was played on the ground, and that is pressure off the Kerry defence. Stephen Kelly on the ground. Here's what happened.
Oh, he did very well. How he got in, I don't know. And a good shot, just blocked on the line. Terrific play again by Limerick.
He's done very well in this game so far, Stephen Kelly, and you can almost sense the panic amongst the Kerry supporters when he gets up ahead of steam and gets moving. More treatment, so you're not missing anything as we look at Stephen Kelly in full flight again.
That is a good sidestep to get in there, good solo to get past his man. And I suppose it's very hard to score from that. Would have been 4 or 5 Kerry fellas, but it just hit his leg. Actually, very unlucky it didn't go into the back of the net. William Kirby was in the right place.
Well, Aidan O'Mahony now back to his feet, and you can see what he did quite clearly there on Stephen Kelly. Now, did the referee or his umpires see it? Now, the referee is, just have a look at this again. Talk about blatant.
Stupid, hitting him into the stomach. I don't think he hit him hard enough that he can go down like a bag of spuds like he did, but certainly he made contact, and if the referee saw it, he could be in serious trouble.
Well, Jerry Knievy has consulted with his umpire, and it appears that at this moment he's just checking on Stephen Kelly, who I don't think is as badly hurt as it would appear. But it was Aidan O'Mahony who was involved in that. Well, there's Aidan. He's lucky to get away without a card.
Very lucky to get away without a card. But I don't think he hit him hard enough that he went down and he like he did. He's a good defender, a good tight defender, a good marker.
A little bit too tight there from Aidan. Dermot Murphy. Heading towards half-time. It's been a super half so far for Limerick. Paul Galvin. And the referee calling them back, and Kerry not too happy. They wanted Galvin's free to stand, but they will have to come back and take it again.
Yeah, what Kerry are trying to do is, the two boys are inside, Michael Frank and Colin Cooper, and they're trying to keep the play going and not allow Limerick time to funnel a few players back to cover off in front of them.
Cooper and Russell being marked at the moment by Mark O'Riordan and Tommy Stack. That's launched in. Real traffic jam for possession. Stephen Lucy. That was a foul against Mike Frank Russell on Stephen Lucy. And again, they coped with that pretty well.
Yeah, because the play was held up, it gave time for Stephen Lucy to be able to go back in. What Kerry were trying to do was keep the momentum of the game up and get the ball in as quickly as possible so cover couldn't come in.
Johnny McCarthy, it's his first year on the panel. Still indeed part of the Limerick under-21 panel. We're going to have 4 additional minutes at the end of this first half. The first half of the 2004 Munster Senior Football Final, which Limerick lead by 5 points. Kerry with a line ball, and again the players just getting a little bit too excited.
The referee will have to do something at this stage. Now, Paul Galvin just struck out and hit him in the stomach again. He'll have to book him because he'll have to put a marker down at this stage.
Well, we had a card for Murish Gavin of Limerick. Now we've one for Paul Galvin of Kerry. And again, the referee, as Tony was saying, just deciding that appropriate to take action now. This could boil over and over and over.
Ah, that was stupid. Absolutely ridiculous.
But the line ball was allowed to stand for Kerry. Can they capitalise? Here's Dara O'Canada. Mike Frank Russell to Colm Cooper. Cooper on the turn. Good strike from Cooper. He's got it over. Only the second Kerry player to score in this match. We're only a minute from the break. He's only been on the scene for 2 years or so, but that's a trademark point from Colm Cooper to within 4.
If Kerry can get any supply of ball into Colm Cooper and Michael Frank, they will get the scores for them. Kerry certainly aren't out of this game yet, because with forwards like them, they could get 2 or 3 goals in a matter of 10 minutes.
That was their first point in some 23 minutes. Limerick with a free. Jason Stokes taking it for Limerick. It's over the head of Keating. And there was some pulling in there. It was Mike O'Brien who gave away the free. Just 4 points between the sides. A much better first half for Limerick than it has been for Kerry. That came off Colm Cooper. Again, it's Stephen Lucy who's picked up a lot of loose ball from the Limerick full back line. Forward by John Galvin, and he's got a free in. Owen Keating, the player who was fouled. Tom O'Sullivan, the guilty party.
Yeah, well spotted. He just had a little, what we call in the game, a half foul. Pulled the jersey, ref saw it, and it should be a point at this stage.
Well, it certainly should be. Owen Keating is moving away from it. Murish Gavin coming across.
Very interestingly, we can see Johnny Crowley warming up down on the sideline. Kerry are being wiped out totally at midfield today, Darren.
Murish Gavin for Limerick. All important kicks at this level, at this stage of the match, and Gavin bringing it in beautifully. He's got 4 of their total of 1-7, and the lead is 5 points here at the Gaelic grounds. Paul Galvin going up after that. Lucy got a hand to it. It's Kerry's possession. Foul on Tomas O'Shea. They need a couple of scores before the interval. Dara Canada. Johnny McCarthy behind him. McCarthy doing quite well. Here's Owen Brosnan coming onto it at pace. Stopped by Jason Stokes again, putting his body on the line. And just look at all the players Limerick have behind the ball. Well, they've given away a free and another chance for Russell to close that gap.
I think that was terrific play by Limerick again, getting behind the ball. Unluckily giving away a free, but you had 5 or 6 players. Their middle 8, the 3 half forwards, the 2 midfielders and the half backs are playing so well.
Mike Frank Russell needs to send this over, And he's done just that. Pressure doesn't really mean an awful lot to Mike Frank Russell. Seen it all before. His tally now at a goal and 2. Kerry's only other scorer, Colm Cooper. Now, haven't played at all well, Kerry. Haven't been let play well. Haven't been allowed to perform, but they're only 4 points back. O'Donnell not getting the distance he wanted on that. Liam Hassett. Well done, Stephen Kelly. Stephen Lucy. Stephen Lavin, the Limerick goal scorer, and he's got a free. John Galvin. Galvin turning back into trouble. He's helped out by Jason Stokes. And Stokes overplaying the ball. Tomas O'Shea. Dara O'Shea. Aidan O'Mahony. Colm Cooper. Now Mark O'Riordan adjudged to have fouled him. Did he ankle tap him?
No, he was actually unlucky. He caught him in the heel as he was running out. I don't think there was any malicious intent there.
But this another important moment in the match for Kerry and for Darragh Kineda. Jack O'Connor anxiously looking on. Right side for the right-footed kicker, O'Kineda, and he's put it over. And again, a rather subdued response to that point from Kerry.
Yeah, but there's only 3 points in it now at this stage, Dara, and with Limerick having the possession at midfield, half-time going in 3 points up, there should be a lot more.
Well, there is the whistle for half-time. Limerick overcoming the shock of Mike Frank Russell's goal and a point in the space of some 90 seconds and doing very well. They've built up a very healthy lead, but Kerry have come back strongly at them. Remember, Limerick will have the aid of a strong breeze in the second half, so it's all to play for. We're hoping for a cracking second half here at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick, but at half-time, let's confirm the score. Limerick 1-7, Kerry 1-4. That's the position here. We are now going to go down to the sideline and join our reporter Jim Kearney.
Thank you very much indeed, Dara. Declan O'Sullivan and Brian Begley. Sorry, fellas, that you're both out of the game, of course, because of injury at the moment. But Declan, worrying times, I would imagine, in the Kerry dugout there.
Certainly, we wouldn't be happy with that performance now in the first half, but we'll just have to look to pick it up. I think we're just playing the game in a slow pace. I think, you know, we've just iron up the tempo, like, and get the ball faster into the forwards. I think the two boys inside in the corners are star for possession. I think when they have got the ball, they've done well, like, so I just think we need to get it in faster to them, like.
Yeah, characteristic bit of magic there on the inside led to the goal, but it was after the goal then that it went away from you.
Yeah, we're finding it difficult to get the ball out. Our support play isn't as good as it usually is from the back line up, so I mean, we just have to address that, I suppose, now and try to get in faster. Like, I feel the boys inside have the beating of their men if we can get the ball in faster, like.
Fair enough. Okay, Declan, look forward to seeing you back soon, yeah. Brian, there's a big performance in Limerick here in this first half, and from the body language before the game even, it suggested that you felt you had it in you.
Yeah, Jim, we were well up for this game. We started fairly well, but I mean, Kerry came down and got a goal there after a mistake in half-back line. But in fairness to the lads, they came back well, and Stephen Lavin got a fine goal down here as well. Kerry haven't had that many chances, but they've taken every chance they've got, so we have to keep tight in the back line, and hopefully we can keep taking our scores up front.
Yeah, and a couple of warning bells for you there that you can't give the ball away. I mean, you gave the ball away once, Stephen didn't mean to, but a goal came from it.
Yeah, Kerry got a goal, and they'll do that. If you make mistakes at back, Kerry will score. I think our forwards are playing very well. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Kerry backs, and they're finding it hard to come out with the ball, and that's what we had decided to do that before the game. But as I say, we have to keep tight at the back, and hopefully we can pull it off.
Okay, Brian, thanks for coming out to talk to us.
Thanks, Jim.
And with that, back to Michael Lester in the studio.
Jim Kerry, thank you very much indeed. So then Limerick hold the lead at half-time, and I think, gentlemen, they're well worth that lead.
Oh, certainly, and possibly could be further in front. Kerry are a bit like Donegal in the first game. They sort of ambled into the game, and Limerick have started the game at speed and have been very constructive. It's been a niggly sort of game, and I think the extent that the Kerry or Limerick are putting Kerry under pressure is reflected in a couple of fellas from Kerry throwing fists. You know, you had Galvin O'Mahony there, you know, there could have been an even bigger trouble. So it shows the extent of Kerry's worries when they resort to that sort of thing.
The big question, I suppose, for Limerick in the second half now, Joe Brawley, is they have a 3-point lead, but will they, if and when Kerry begin to ratchet it up a bit, how they will respond? They may respond well, though.
Well, Limerick are going flat out, and you know they're doing what Donegal didn't do. They're driving through and they're going straight at them. The only way that Limerick can win this game is, you know, competition, go flat out at them, hard work rate and passion, all those sorts of things. And that's the one thing that this Kerry team hates for the last 5 or 6 years. You know, I mean, if you look at Meath destroying them in Croke Park, against Armagh, against Tyrone last year, the one thing they hate is a team that gets stuck into them. And the big doubt about the Kerry team is their competitive spirit. There's no doubt about Armagh in that regard, but in relation to Kerry, when someone throws the kitchen sink at them, you know, are they able to dig in and play the game at that sort of level? And you know, Limerick have shocked them in the first half.
Well, they have certainly taken the game to them, there's no doubt about that. We're going to take a commercial break. Stay with us for more on the Munster Football Final. Again, half-time in the Munster Football Final, Limerick leading Kerry 1-7. Again, half-time in the Munster Football Final, Limerick leading Kerry 1-7 to 1-4. You know, the extraordinary thing, Colin, about the Kerry goal was that almost exactly the same thing happened last year, mind you, with a different effect this time. Limerick started well last year and then Kerry hit them with a sucker goal. Got an early goal here as well.
They did, and it was a bad mistake by Limerick that gave Kerry the opportunity. I think it was Stephen Lucy who gave the ball away. You know, they had the whole thing.
The jerseys are very similar.
Yeah, I thought that too. That the jerseys are very similar. But you know, if you were on a team and you want somebody 10 metres out with a ball and stick it in the net, well, you'd probably pick Mike Frank Russell. He puts it in off the post, I think, keeps the ball low and hard, and it was a great reply, you know, from a Kerry team that were in, you know, they have been in a bit of disarray really. Up until 33 or 4 minutes, they'd only 1 point got, you know. So for me at this stage, this is an examination of Kerry's battle, which has been found wanting in the past. And the other side of it is, can Limerick now, in sight of the finishing line with a good lead, win to come, you know, could, you know, they could just get worried about this and maybe retreat back into defence and let Kerry come at them.
Well, again, they did that last year, remember, after Kerry got the goal. But in fairness to them this year, they responded when that happened, when the goal went in, they responded very well and got a goal themselves.
Well, they've been blasting into it. There's no doubt about their commitment, and they're very, very determined. And I suppose it would be the biggest upset really that I can ever think of if they did win it, because in Kerry, unlike say Ulster or Leinster, where there's always an odd shock, I mean, they're the aristocrats in Munster, and they're used to rolling over teams like Limerick, and Limerick competing well, and Limerick just seem to be fed up with that. I mean, the truth is about this Kerry team.
Lovely.
Yeah, I think that this Kerry team is overrated. In the post sort of Morris Fitzgerald era, they've, you know, had their usual easy enough run through Munster, but then they've collapsed when they've come out against, you know, concerted, determined opposition. And you know, Morris really, I mean, in '97 carried the thing for them, and again whenever they got through in 2000, he saved them against Armagh. There's no doubt. They don't have anything just like that at the moment, and I'm just wondering whether they're generally overrated at the moment.
I mean, but it's a reflection though of the sort of confidence that Limerick are playing with, that you have 2 wing backs coming up, one scoring a goal, Stephen Lavin, and Conor Mullane scoring a point. But the big examination for me is Kirby and Darrow in the middle of the field for Kerry have been overwhelmed there physically by Juan and Galvin.
At least Kerry have 15 players on the field that they can have assessed at the moment. They might have had 14 from 1 or 2 of the things we saw in the first half.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, Aidan O'Mahony tried to let Stephen Kelly know he was around now. He did. It was, you know, a punch in to test the strength of the solar plexus, I suppose, but, you know, Stephen Kelly went down in heat, but like a referee standing there and see that, he'd have no option but to give him a red card, put him off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to break away from the Munster Football Final for the moment, because if you were with us earlier, you would have seen Armagh, of course, win the Ulster Championship. Great performance by Armagh at Croke Park. One I'm sure that greatly pleased their manager, Joe Kernan.
Joe, the backdoor route last year. This time, I suppose, a lot more satisfying winning the Ulster title.
Well, it's good to have silverware. We said at the start of the year that last year we were through the whole year and we had nothing to show for it. This year we said we'd do our utmost to try and win Ulster and go on. We've won Ulster. Who knows what will happen now?
From the neutral's point of view, I suppose we thought Donegal would put more of a fight up, but you outfought them and outmuscled them for most of the game.
Well, this team of ours just keep coming back. They're so genuine, so committed, and along with that, they're good footballers along with that. I think this was a very exciting end-to-end game, and I think nobody can complain about the standard of football here today.
And from your forwards point of view, if you look at the spread of scores, everybody contributed to the scoreline today.
Indeed. We'll assess all those things next week, but we're just happy with what we've done today.
Yeah, and as Joe said there, and it's very important, they have some silverware now from this season. They're ahead of last year in that particular department. Now, later in the programme we have the hurling qualifier between Galway and the All-Ireland champions Kilkenny. That game is in Thurles. The throw-in is at 6:15, and for news on that, here's Ger Canning.
Good evening to you, Michael, and welcome to Semple Stadium in Thurles. I can tell you it's quite windy, quite blustery here this afternoon, and the wind is blowing from the Killiney end down into the town end, but it's nice and it's bright, and we're expecting a crowd here of between 25 and 30,000. Of course, it's a big day for DJ Kerry. It's his 50th time to play in the championship for Kilkenny, and the last time that Kilkenny got a second chance, as it were, was in 1997. That year he came here, they played Galway on a famous match, and he ended up scoring 2 goals and 8 points. Will something similar be needed this afternoon? We'll have to wait and see. It's a Galway team who are league champions, of course, very strong in the inside forward line, strong in their full back line as well, but a couple of questions been asked about them down the middle. Against that, how good, how bad are Kilkenny this year? Are they a team in decline? Have they arrested that decline? Well, lots of questions. We'll have the answers. We'll have all the action, of course, as well, in our third live match of the day on Network 2. Join us here at 6:15.
We will indeed, Ger. Thank you very much for that. And also a reminder that we have the draw then after that game for the hurling quarter-finals. That's live here on the programme. That's at about 7:45 this evening. However, the Munster football final for the moment. Limerick lead. Can they win?
Well, I think that, you know, as I said before, it's going to be an examination of the bottle of Kerry. You know, a team that look a sort of bit out on its feet. I don't think they'd come through the back door. Is there a sting in the dying bee? I'd like to see it. I'd like to see from Kerry Point that they'd put up a bit more of a show. But Limerick are playing fantastic football. Hopefully they can keep that up. I think the overall, you know, it lacked the excitement of the first half of the Ulster final. Kerry need to up the pace. You know, a lot of their big names, I presume we'll see Moynihan at some stage if this continues. But, you know, Limerick are in a fantastic position.
They are, there's no doubt about that. One interesting thing, though, about the first half was they had a 5-point lead at one stage, and in the extra minutes there, in the extra time minutes, they've just seen that clawed back a little bit. Kerry are, you know, scratching away at it, pulling a point or two back.
Well, I think in a way that 3 points at half-time probably is better for Limerick, strangely enough, than 5 points, because if you're 5 points up, you're thinking, no, look, this is almost won, you know, let's just sit tight. The fact that Kerry have come back into it will probably give Limerick an extra impetus. They're very determined about this. They're very, very focused on it, and you can see the way they're all playing. The worry for Limerick is that their full-back line is very porous. I mean, what Tommy Stack was doing coming off Mike Frank Russell for the first goal, I have no idea. I mean, he just came off. I mean, you never ever do that. A cornerback, if someone else is going in to score a goal, let them go in and score a goal. Let it not be your man. That's what a cornerback's got to do. Someone else has to do the covering, and that's a worry. You never leave Russell and you never leave Cooper, and they do look a bit porous in there.
That'd be the one thing that would worry me about them, Colin O'Rourke. As Joe said, in that full back line, you can nearly hear the alarm bells ringing here in Dublin every time the Kerry make an attack at them. Kerry must exploit that.
That's right, but you see, the lack of possession that Kerry are winning in the middle of the field means that Cooper and Russell were starved of possession for a long time. So if O'Shane Kirby can get a bit of a grip, obviously it may change. But Limerick have the wind. Lucy has been hanging back as a sort of an extra covering defender. I think they're going to need him, and they'll also need a better return from Stephen Kelly. He's made a few good runs, but nothing has come of it.
Head's always down. He never looks up.
If he gets by his man, he needs to sort of find somebody. But like the Limerick forward line has been busy. It's been busy, but you know, the Kerry back line is not good at all.
No, but I mean, during the week, I mean, the Limerick manager, Liam Kerrimson, is very bullish about their chances in this particular one. This is part of the 5-year plan, and this is the last year of it, and he says to the players, this is time for delivery now.
I mean, I'm not suggesting at this stage that they ought to circle the wagons and bring everybody back into the defence. I mean, Armagh had an 8-point lead against Donegal, and it's all very well doing that with an 8-point lead. I mean, I think that Limerick have just got to go for broke here. You know, certainly tackle back as ferociously as you can and do what they've been doing in the first half, but they've got to go for broke, and to hell with the consequences. You know, if they go flat out and play with passion throughout the second half, I think they'll win the game.
No changes on the Kerry team for the second half, Colin O'Rourke, so obviously they decided for the moment anyway just to let the hair sit and see how things pan out and see if they can crawl back this lead.
Yeah, well, you know, Declan O'Sullivan is obviously not available at all, and Moynihan is the real rallying force, and I don't think that Kerry will be standing around for more than 5 or 10 minutes before they introduce him if he's half fit, because they haven't got an inspirational leader. Like Darragh O'Shea hasn't taken on that mantle in the first half, so I presume that, you know, Moynihan will be told, you know, if your ankle is half right, you're coming in here because we need you.
Let's see what happens. Let's go back again to Darragh and to Tony.
Thank you, Michael. Welcome back. No changes to either side for the second half of this Munster final, but just looking at Kerry out there for a start, you'll see Owen Brosnan there. He's going to start the second half as he finished the first in midfield, with William Kirby moving forward, and Mark O'Shea has gone in cornerback for Kerry. So here we go. Limerick lead by 3. Kerry in recent years have really been their bogey team, but at the moment Limerick 35 minutes away from their first Munster senior title since 1896. That was thrown by Mike Frank Russell, according to Jerry Knievy, our referee. And Tony, the first few minutes of this second half absolutely crucial.
Yes, it's important for Limerick to keep the momentum up and get some scores, and they have John Galvin in full forward with the win. Now I'm sure we're going to see some direct balls into win.
Darragh O'Shea losing it. That looked like a pickup from Eamon Fitzmaurice, but he was fouled on the way back up by John Galvin. Limerick, their work rate has been really, really good in this match so far, but they have to keep it going all the way to 70 minutes and beyond if they're to get over the winning line. Here's Eamon Fitzmaurice forward again, challenged by Stephen Lucy, and Limerick have a free out. Jerry Knievy, the referee, very close to where that incident took place, and it's Conor Fitzgerald who was in possession of the ball.
That's good brave play again by Stephen Lucy, going down and winning the ball and driving on.
And a yellow card for Eamon Fitzmaurice. Jack O'Connor out of picture has just come across to the Kerry dugout here. They may be about to make a change. Will it be Seamus Moynihan? Is he fit enough? Darragh O'Shea being hassled by Stephen Lavin. Now Liam Hassett. First point in the second half for Kerry could make a big difference. Darragh O'Shea going for it off the upright, and in the correct position for Limerick was Jason Stokes, but Seamus O'Donnell just for a moment didn't know where the ball had ended up. Limerick off the hook, and you can see Mark O'Riordan still wearing those gloves. We had several showers earlier on. Well taken, Tom O'Sullivan off Owen Keating. Kerry getting moving, but just as I say it, Eamon Fitzmaurice gives the ball away, and that's another Limerick free. Kerry giving away frees up in the Limerick half back line. This was the last opportunity, Tony.
Yes, he was unlucky really. Darragh O'Shea came up trying to get the score off the goal, but again they're in the correct place. I was just watching the subs warming up there, Darragh, and Seamus Moynihan wasn't one of the 3 that were warming up down there.
Well, Johnny Crowley is certainly one of them, and we were told before the throw-in that the Kerry management had real concerns as to whether or not Seamus Moynihan would be fit enough to come in. He did take part in some training, took part in the warm-up, but not being warmed up at the moment by the Kerry bench. Tomas O'Shea. Paul Galvin ahead of him. Galvin now in possession. Colin Cooper just pointing, telling him where he wants the ball. Cooper's out in front, but O'Riordan did well on him. And John Kwan comes back to take possession. Another free. Limerick have been awarded 20 frees now, 4 already in the second half. Mike O'Brien. Owen Keating his target. Tom O'Sullivan, did he touch that on the ground? Eamon Fitzmaurice to Darragh O'Shea. Fitzmaurice again, getting forward well, and now Paul Galvin has a fair bit of space to work with. Colm Cooper again his target. Mark O'Riordan with him. O'Riordan got a foot in, but he's been penalised for pulling Cooper back. It's a free in to Kerry.
Yes, he definitely fouled him before the ball was even hit in. He was pulling his jersey off the ball, and players like Colm Cooper must be protected by the referee, and in fairness he saw the pulling before he put his leg in at all. That looked fair enough, but actually he did pull his jersey just before that sequence.
Yeah. Well, a chance now for Darragh O'Canada to kick his second point. Kerry's total of 1-4, scored by the three members of the Kerry full forward line, and O'Riordan in the meantime has been booked by Jerry Kennevy. A couple of fouls going against him. This for the first point of the second half, and O'Canada has missed it. That is an unbelievable miss from the Kerry captain at such a vital time. Now the wind, we know, is tricky. He's kicking into it, but that's an astonishing miss.
It's a very bad miss by Kerry. Kerry at this stage, I think, have only scored 1 point from play so far in the game. 40 minutes gone. That's not a good return from Kerry.
Possession now so important. Limerick have been let off the hook there, but here come Kerry again. Just sense that there's more drive and determination about them in this second half. Here's Mike Frank Russell. Russell getting away from the cover. Jason Stokes going to ground. Mike O'Brien working so hard. Another free. Another chance for O'Canada, should he want it. They cannot afford to lose Colm Cooper after that challenge from Mike O'Brien. And O'Canada just out of picture, standing to the left of Cooper with the football under his arm, ready to take the free. Surely he can't miss again. And Cooper back to his feet. And here's O'Canada, similar position to his last effort. What will the result be? Well, the result is a point, and Kerry move to within 2. And, well, there is a bigger and better determination about them, but they haven't played at all well in this game, and still they're only 2 points adrift of Limerick. Worth remembering as well, Kerry went 23 minutes of the first half without a single score. Possession again goes to Kerry, and Owen Brosnan. Real problems for Limerick if he's allowed to run at them. Brosnan seemed to throw an arm out there. Here come Limerick though with Stephen Kelly. Great buzz around the ground. Kelly taking them all on. Challenged by Tomás O'Shea. Shoulder to shoulder, said the referee. Kelly inside to Murish Gavin. Kerry have plenty of players back. Conor Milan has got one already. This one is going to fall short. Blocked down. Good covering. Really good covering. That was Tom O'Sullivan in there helping out. Darragh O'Shea also took the shoulder. They're in a spot of bother here. Aidan O'Mahony getting them out of trouble. And O'Shea takes it away for Kerry. Here's Paul Galvin. If Kerry up the pace, will Limerick be able to go with them? Galvin going and going. It's John Kwan behind him. O'Riordan got the better of Cooper that time. Seamus O'Donnell, the Limerick goalkeeper, sizing up the options. Jason Stokes. Really good pace to it now. Here's Stephen Lavin, the Limerick goal scorer. Mike O'Brien moves at a good distance to Conor Fitzgerald, who's away from Mark O'Shea. Fitzgerald on the turn, he's got it. That is a peach of a point, and quite a response to O'Canada's free for Kerry. The advantage again is 3, and that a point made with great belief.
Yeah, terrific point. Very confident on his right leg. But the movement of the Limerick full forward line off the ball is excellent. They're really making runs into space, telling them, dictating where they want the ball played.
Second point, as you saw, for Conor Fitzgerald. Tomas O'Shea. Well, he's been allowed to cover a lot of ground and has support too from Fitzmaurice, who's been willing all day to come forward. There's a gap there. Can Fitzmaurice go through? He can't. He needs some support. Nobody there in the green and gold of Kerry. Instead, it's John Kwan of Limerick. And just listen to the crowd now, because at times it's been very subdued around the Gaelic grounds, but they really are involved now.
Yes, that was again some great running back. John Kwan tracking back, getting the hand in, and the ball eventually just comes away. I don't think Eamon Fitzmaurice feels very comfortable 14 yards out from goal. But Tomas O'Shea, playing centre back with Kerry, is playing quite well. He blocked the run by Limerick earlier on, and he's driving forward for them. He's done very well since he's gone in there.
Murish Gavin is receiving treatment. Bob Sheehy is the Limerick doctor. 108 years ago, their last Munster senior football title. Gavin really does not look comfortable at all.
No, and he's a vital player to them, because he's a kind of a pivotal player that when he gets the ball in his hands, looks up and finds the inside player. As well as that, he's very good from a dead ball situation.
And Mary O'Keefe, the physio, in there, and as you can see, the left shoulder is the problem. Well, how important could this be for Liam Kearns and indeed for Jack O'Connor of Kerry?
Well, Kerry have more options on the sideline than Limerick. If you look down through their subs, they have Johnny Crowley, obviously Seamus Moynihan if he's around. They also have the likes of Declan Quill, Ronan O'Connor, Seamus Scanlon, Sean O'Sullivan, Noel Kennelly, very strong bench, whereas Limerick are quite limited. I think they have their best 15 on the field, and once you go outside that 15, I think they're digging deep to try and replace somebody, especially of the class of Merge.
Well, relief all round amongst the Limerick supporters as Murish Gavin gets back to his feet. Jack O'Connor has just swapped the two corner forwards, Colin Cooper and Frank Russell. But their men have gone with them. The Limerick markers. Here they come, Stephen Lavin. Lavin in low. And that was played on the ground a little bit harsh, I think, on Michael McCarthy. Did he appear to slip as he went to play that? But the referee has gone with the Limerick man. Well,
yeah, he was very unlucky, and in fact Limerick would have had a better advantage if he left the play go.
Now Murish Gavin had treatment for that injury a couple of minutes ago. Let's see how well he's recovered. This to give them a 4-point cushion. Wind assisting him. Gavin has not caught that at all well, and he's gone down to ground. It's still in play, but Gavin looks to be in trouble for Limerick. Tomas O'Shea. Free to Kerry. Well, Gavin is back to his feet. You can see him at the bottom of your picture, starting to move freely again. Dar O'Shea, risky game in that position, but they've done it quite well. Now Owen Brosnan injecting some pace into the Kerry attack. Movement ahead, some really good movement. Cooper looking for it. Brosnan still going, but just bouncing off Owen Brosnan. That's a great point. Absolutely superb. And if Kerry needs some inspiration, maybe that's the moment.
That was some score, Dara, all the way from his own half. Ran at the Kerry or the Limerick defence and took a great score on the run. Terrific score by Owen Brosnan.
Now, while you were watching that, it was a brilliant, brilliant point from Owen Brosnan. Tommy Griffin has come on for Kerry, and it's William Kirby who's gone off. So a 2-point game here at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. It's a free to Limerick. Well, this why Limerick got the free, and that's why Kerry got that huge boost of the point from Owen Brosnan. But can they build on it? Can they get closer to Limerick and put real pressure? Because as they get closer and closer, the match gets later and later. Brilliantly taken by Brosnan. Will the doubt start to creep into the Limerick minds again? Colm Cooper was being held as that was played into him by Marco Reardon, but Stephen Kelly doesn't mind taking it away for Limerick, and that's broken kindly for Stephen Lucy. Mike O'Brien. And Mark O'Shea unable to get to it. They were claiming Conor Fitzgerald was fouled. Referee letting it move. Here's Tommy Griffin, new into the Kerry team. Tom O'Sullivan, Aidan O'Mahony. As you can see, he's supposed to be the left corner back. The position's meaning very little. O'Riordan, he's got a decision off the referee, the foul against Colm Cooper. Been made to work very hard, Mark O'Riordan. John Kwan, Stephen Lucy. Limerick taking it to Kerry again. John Galvin. O'Mahony coming across to try and close him down. There's no foul. Breaks for Mark O'Shea of Kerry. Dara O'Shea. Well, Mark O'Shea, he's got his foul, but he did turn into trouble and turn back towards his own goal there.
Yeah, after Limerick doing all the hard work to give away a foul there was silly because he had nowhere to go.
Johnny Crowley continuing to warm up for Kerry. Really, when you look at their subs, as Tony was mentioning earlier, it's a dream subs bench. So much quality. Limerick free. John Kwan of Galtee Gales. Kwan been allowed to take it forward. Here's Stephen Lavin. We know what he can do in front of goal. Wants it on his right boot. Disappointing wide. Only Limerick's fourth, but two of them crucially since the restart.
Yeah, and that was crucial as well. There's players inside him that are natural scoring forwards, and they must get the ball to them in those positions, and they'll have to take all their chances.
Dermot Murphy with the kick out. Just to remind you, we're giving you the chance to win 2 premium tickets to the Bank of Ireland Leinster football final next Sunday, as well as overnight accommodation in Dublin. To be in with a chance of winning that super prize, just select your man of the match from this game, ring the number which has just appeared at the bottom of your screen with the team and the number of the player you've selected. The winner will be announced on the Sunday game tonight. Here we're following Limerick leading Kerry by 2 points in the Munster Senior Football Final. Mike Frank Russell, Colm Cooper. Again, they managed to get a foot in Limerick, but it hasn't worked out for them. Liam Hassett. Hassett again been allowed to carry it, now met by a Mike O'Brien shoulder. A lot of passes in this move. What's at the end of it? Tall Galvin decides to be more direct about it. And Galvin, has he fouled that on the ground? Darrow Canada, that's a free in to Kerry, when perhaps there may well have been a free out to Limerick.
Yes, this year all the referees are blowing for any type of call where the foot goes in. They'll blow it straight away. I think they were very unfortunate here. As you can see, just puts his foot in. All the referees are blowing for that this year. They're deeming it as dangerous play.
When you look at that, I thought for a moment we're a long way away that Galvin had played it on the ground, but did it with his foot. So good call by Jerry Knievy. And here's Darrow Canada to move them to within 1 and really put the pressure on Limerick. Just what he's done. A 1-point game. Now Limerick are making a change. It's Johnny Murphy who's coming in. Murish Gavin is going off. This is a big moment in this game for Limerick. Gavin hasn't recovered from that shoulder injury he suffered earlier on. How big a blow will that be to Limerick? I'd imagine a pretty serious one.
That's a vital stage in the game now for Limerick if they want to win this game. Kerry have come back. They've been much brighter in the second half. Limerick haven't been able to use the wind advantage that they have to find John Galvin in full forward.
Well, Limerick have got a free. John Galvin on hand to help win it. He's going to take the free as well. Taking Murish Gavin off, not what Liam Kearns would have wanted to do at this stage. Johnny Murphy into Conor Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald sending it very high. Missed the target. Limerick had chances. They had the possession and the opportunities in last year's Munster final to really put Kerry under serious pressure. Opportunities being made here but not being converted. Kwan with a fist to it. Darragh O'Shea. That was picked up off the ground and it's a free to Limerick. Mike O'Brien keen to take it.
Owen Keating seems very confident kicking the ball in from there, but there's loose men inside. If he only looked up at one stage, there was a loose man in front of the goal on his own.
Well, this is Owen Keating. They've scored just 1 point since the start of the second half. Good distance out, the wind still strong. Keating. Oh, that's fantastic from Owen Keating. Every right to be confident when he can do that.
You'd know the rest of the players believe in him, Darragh, when he kicks a ball like that, because nobody actually goes for a quick free from him. They're quite confident he's going to stroke the ball over the bar.
Again, a really important and crucial response to those Kerry points from Brosnan and O'Canada. Was that thrown to Paul Galvin? Free in anyway to Kerry. John Galvin conceding it. Darragh O'Shea taking. Johnny Crowley will be into this Munster final shortly. Colm Cooper. Marco Reardon is the Limerick defender. Cooper. Oh, wow. That is a bit special from Colm Cooper. Spectacular point.
Absolutely beautiful. When you can play like that, all the effort Limerick had, two wides, they come straight up the field. Darragh O'Shea coming into the game at the field, wins the ball, gives it to Cooper, and straight over the bar. That is the danger when you're playing the likes of Kerry, with Colm Cooper inside now on the full forward line. If he just gets the ball, he'll score all the time.
Well, this is the continuing danger from a Kerry point of view here in this Munster final. Johnny Crowley has the tracksuit top off. He's will be in any minute. We wonder for who. Limerick trying to build another attack. John Galvin sends it in. That was Conor Fitzgerald, who could do nothing with it. Mark O'Shea, Galvin. That's been overhit. Stephen Lucy. John Galvin. Now Stephen Lavin. Patiently building. Johnny Murphy on wearing 18. Stephen Lavin. Another big hit going in on Lavin. Aidan O'Mahony giving away the foul. Darragh O'Canada is being called ashore to be replaced by Johnny Crowley. Reverse of the substitution, which worked so well for Kerry in the semi-final against Cork.
Yes, I think Michael Frank and Colm Cooper will be happy to see Johnny come in at full forward. He's very, very strong, a good target man in there, and will be a good focal point for midfield if they can win possession, even though Darragh O'Shea is coming into the game at midfield now.
We'll talk about good substitutions and good replacements to be able to bring in on his day. None better than Johnny Crowley. Well, some of the players in the wars, as you'd expect. It has been a physical encounter. We expected that. Stephen Kelly getting some more instructions from Liam Kearns. Aidan O'Mahony fit to continue. He's been in the wars as well. Limerick will restart with the free. Stephen Lucy taking it. John Kwan. Oh dear. He was very unlucky there, and that's a free to Kerry. Paul Galvin, the player who was fouled.
Oh, just ran away from him. Unlucky for John. Been a great servant for Limerick football over the last 10, 11 years.
Just a point between them here. Darragh O'Shea, if Kerry could get level at this stage, you just wonder what will happen to Limerick. And O'Shea fouled Owen Keating. Here's what happened.
Again, very cynical, pulling him down like that.
Darragh O'Shea taking it. Johnny Crowley the target. Johnny McCarthy, that's a free into Kerry. Tough decision, and McCarthy of Limerick is going to be booked.
Very unlucky. I think it was both of them were pulling off each other at that stage, and the referee should nearly have let it go.
6-1 on our first look at that, but it's gone Kerry's way. And Mike Frank Russell bidding for his third free in this match, and that's beautifully taken. Just like a really good golf swing. No real effort in it at all. Precision all the way. Limerick and Kerry were level with 10 minutes to go. Second time in the match they've been level. 1-3 out of 1-9. He's contributed. And just listen to the roar now. Next score in this match has a very important feel to it. Limerick's lead at one point was 5. Paul Galvin and Stephen Lucy. We're in to the final 10 minutes here. John Kwan, Mark O'Riordan. Now Mike O'Brien, what's available ahead of him? Eamon Fitzmaurice closing him down for Kerry. Jason Stokes misses it, but Conor Fitzgerald does it. Fitzgerald, a really lively customer. Didn't throw it. Here's Jason Stokes. Stokes settling himself. They need this point, Limerick. And they've got it. Fantastic response. They lead again. And is this to be their day at last?
Great score by Jason Stokes, who's having a very, very good game for Limerick. On the outside of his right foot, I think he was praying in the end that was going over the bar, because of another foot it probably would have curved wide. But a great score.
Well, that again, we had a look at it in the first half. We know that there is character within this Limerick side. They've taken some bad beatings over the years. They've been low, very, very low. But Liam Kearns, since taking over in '99, has built a super team. Michael McCarthy of Kerry is receiving treatment. Murrish Gavin, in one of the newspapers during the week, the local Limerick papers, talking about in years gone by that people would laugh at him when he told them he played for the Limerick senior footballers. Will they be laughing or crying today? Will Limerick end that long wait, or will Kerry win Munster title number 69? Here's Owen Brosnan. Brosnan still going. Got his free. A good result for Kerry at the very least. If he got through, he had designs on a goal.
Since half-time, Owen Brosnan really has upped his game. Now, that's a foul, definitely, and a tap over free. He's done very well now.
Yellow card for John Galvin. He just moves back into position. Mike Frank Russell getting into his position, bidding to bring Kerry level. And Russell has done it very easily. And he just points to it. You can see that. Look at that. Wants the players out the park to think more, to keep the focus. No divine right at all to win this Munster title, and Limerick have really put it up to them today. 1-10 apiece. Under 7 minutes of time left for play.
In a tight game like this, you would expect Kerry to come out on top. Very interesting to see how far Limerick have matured now.
Well, let's see. Moral victories, they've had many of those in the last couple of years. They've been getting closer and closer to Kerry. But can they get over the winning line and finally claim the Munster Championship? Under 21s did it in 2000. They've got a free in. And Owen Keating just so hungry for the chance as you look at this foul on Johnny Murphy by Eamon Fitzmaurice.
Yeah, they'll probably leave it for Stephen Kelly on the left.
It certainly makes more sense. Liam Kearns has to watch. I'm sure he'd rather not. Johnny Murphy has moved off the playing field, and his treatment will continue, and they're going to bring on a blood sub, I think.
Yeah, Michael Reedy go in instead.
Michael Reedy wearing 20. 110 apiece. Stephen Kelly is lining this up. Certainly the correct side for him, the left-footed kicker. Can he send this over? Kelly has hit that sweetly. That is, oh, it's just short. It seemed to be heading over, plucked out of the sky by Darragh O'Shea. The wind with Kelly. But O'Shea fielding it superbly. Here he is again. Darragh O'Shea. Well, he's been closed down by Kelly. Limerick continuing to work hard, and it's tough at this late stage of the game. Tomas O'Shea foul. 110 apiece. Colin Cooper taking Mark O'Riordan for a tour of the Gaelic grounds at the moment. Johnny Crowley out in front of Johnny McCarthy. Mike Frank Russell. Cooper moving ahead of him again. Here's Darragh O'Shea. Started this move off down the other end. O'Shea settles himself. Hasn't caught it well. Crowley trying to get in there, but O'Donnell takes it. Takes the hit. Free out. Well, he was struggling for fitness with a quad muscle injury. Just look at this again.
I think it was accidental. He just caught his standing foot when he was running by and behind him. But at this stage, to put out, if he has to go off, it will disrupt the team, bringing another sub on. I'm sure they would have maybe other options out the field.
Well, Seamus O'Donnell, which is never a good sign, really hasn't moved an awful lot since that challenge from Johnny Crowley. They do have a very capable replacement, Mike Jones, who featured earlier on in the championship when O'Donnell was injured. He's their under-21 goalkeeper, but O'Donnell, a real figure of inspiration, a player of inspiration for the Limerick team, and always talking to his defenders, letting them know who's in charge, where they are. Johnny Murphy is back on. Michael Reedy has gone off, and they're going to have to make a change in goal, Limerick, at this late stage. So Seamus O'Donnell, as badly hurt as we thought. Just look at it again, Tony.
Yeah, it was accidental. He wasn't even looking where he was going, and it was just his standing foot was there. Very unfortunate for him, because his kickouts are excellent. He's finding his men at midfield, and he's varying them as well.
Well, this is Mike Jones, the Limerick under-21 goalkeeper, played in the match against Tipperary. But is he going to get to appear in the Munster final? Well, I don't think so. There was a signal sent in by Jerry Kanibi, the referee, that O'Donnell wasn't going to be able to continue, but as you can see, he is. Now the linesman over here is in consulting with Jerry Kanibi about additional time, I think, at the end of the game. 5 minutes, we understand. So a lot more football to be played in this Munster final. Deadlocked at a goal and 10 apiece. Will it be Limerick? Will it be Kerry? Will it be a draw? Mark O'Riordan. O'Riordan taking it forward. Support from Stephen Lavin. Do Limerick believe that they can finally win a Munster title? They've got a free in. There's confirmation, at least 5 additional minutes. Paul Galvin giving that away, and Owen Keating, he's a long way out. That's the 65-metre line. He's just crossed over it, but he's going to give it quite a smack. Wind will be helping him. We're into the last minute of normal time. He's hit that very well, and it's brilliantly taken on the line by guess who? Darragh O'Shea. Best hands in the business. He was under some pressure there. Second one he's plucked from under the crossbar.
Yeah, but very inexperienced by Owen Keating. Too far out. He should have known his range and gone short.
Now Mike O'Brien is in there making it difficult for O'Shea, but the ball glued to his hands, it seemed. Tomas O'Shea. Here come Kerry. Tom O'Sullivan taking the hit. Here's Paul Galvin. Eamon Fitzmaurice. Fitzmaurice again bursting through. Here come Kerry. Tommy Griffin. Griffin plays it inside O'Donnell. It was a tricky one for him, but the goalkeeper dealt with it quite well. There was an opportunity there for Kerry. How many more will they get? Remember, we've 5 additional minutes to play. John Sheehan will be in shortly for Kerry. Mark O'Riordan for Limerick. Mike O'Brien has gone down injured. The play called back. Did the referee see it? Was it Paul Galvin who was involved? We know it means so much, Tony, but there's been a lot of this in the game, and it's unnecessary.
Stupid. Absolutely stupid. At this stage, there's only a few minutes left in the game. Ridiculous to carry on like this. A level, I think there could be someone sent off at this stage with the way people are punching.
Well, there's a yellow card for Tomas O'Shea. Two of the Kerry half-backs have been booked. Eamon Fitzmaurice is going off. John Sheehan coming on. Sheehan pushed hard for a place in the starting 15, but didn't quite make it, but now gets his chance. A minute of additional time, just about up, with 4 to go.
108 years, Darragh, is a long time to wait for a Munster title, and with 5 minutes left, if they can play with their head now and not like what Owen Keating did in the last thing, try and kick the ball over from an impossible place, I think they may pull this one out of the fire.
Well, that was why O'Shea got the card. Keating, well, is he going to have another go? Limerick came close against Kerry in 1965 in the Munster Senior Football Final, but didn't quite get there. 1896, their last Munster title, and Keating, well, is going to have another go. He's closer than his last effort, but really not by much. But if you're going to win these things, you need a hero. Maybe it will be Owen Keating to write himself into the history books for all time, but he hasn't got that. He got the distance, but not the accuracy.
And he did the wrong thing again. There was people running for short frees inside. He'll have to look up. If he got the ball back into his hands, he has a better chance than kicking it off the ground from there, and he would have gained 14, 15 metres.
Scored 2 very good points in the game. All the while, that clock ticking down towards 75. O'Shea can't hold on to it. Mike O'Brien for Limerick. They've got another free. Now, what do they do? Will it be Keating? And third time lucky, perhaps, but he's just consulting with Stephen Lucy as Tomas O'Shea moves away. And Lucy, I think, wants to take the ball away from Keating. Stephen Lavin is over to offer some words of encouragement. Well, how crucial will this decision be by Keating and by Limerick? If they get ahead now, would Kerry have time to respond? Again, it's closer in. Liam Kearns has gone down on his knees just in front of us. The Limerick manager, the Kerry man.
There is the Limericker on their knees as well, Darragh.
Keating again comes round the corner. He's hit it well, but again it's going to drop short. Darragh O'Shea, third time lucky for O'Shea. That's brilliant fielding. John Sheehan, how will Limerick regret those misses? Will they be made to regret them? 3 opportunities in a row for Keating, and here come Kerry. Really ripping into the Limerick cover. Here's Johnny Crowley. He's done it before on the big stage. Crowley has got away. Daren't give away a free. Mike Frank Russell, will this be the winner for Kerry? No, it won't. Russell has hit it, and it hasn't even gone wide yet. Now it has, finally. Limerick have a player down injured. That had winner written all over it.
When you see Michael Frank getting the ball in his hand with a few minutes to go, you expect him to kick over the bar, but Limerick got nil return from those 3 free kicks. I know Darragh O'Shea did well going in under the post, but they could have been quicker and moved the ball into a more advantageous position.
Well, pressure on the kicker.
too predictable.
Owen Keating, but pressure on him too. This is fantastic. Look at that. Beautiful to watch. You could watch it over and over again. Limerick appeared to have Mark O'Riordan down injured, while you look at Darragh O'Shea in full flight.
Well, he's a big time player, Darragh. He knew what he was at. Now this kick out is absolutely crucial. Whoever wins this, if Kerry get it forward, you're nearly sure that if Kerry get the ball into full forward line, they will score.
Damien Reedy is coming on for Stephen Lavin, the man who replaced him in the starting 15 today. How much longer will the referee allow? We've about 30 seconds of that additional time to play.
He let on a bit more as well, Darragh, because there has been a few injuries since then.
Well, Stephen Lavin played his part certainly with that really good goal in the first half. Mark O'Riordan, Tommy Stack is just over checking on how the cornerback is. Damien Reedy, a very experienced campaigner, a great servant of Limerick football. He's now in, and we will have more time, but will the referee decide enough is enough? 1:10 apiece. It really has been very tense in the second half. Limerick, having played against the wind, had that 3-point lead. They've scored 3 points in the second half, Limerick. This is what happened to Mark O'Riordan. Just fell over Colm Cooper, and that was Mike Frank Russell. That was the chance. Will there be another one? The referee is going to let play develop. Who's got possession? Galvin has it. Here it is. Stephen Lucy for Limerick. Brings Conor Milan in. Could they win it for the first time in 108 years? Milan, oh dear. What an elementary mistake, overplaying the ball at this late stage. Kerry have possession. And still we play on. Darragh O'Shea. And O'Shea has lost it. John Kwan. Tomas O'Shea will get there ahead of Mike O'Brien, who just didn't have the legs. He's worked so hard. So has O'Shea for Kerry. They've all given their absolute all in this Munster final. But are we going to a replay? 1:10 apiece. Brosnan took far too many steps, and now they want to let it in quickly.
I think he was unfortunate there. I thought he was actually fouled by the Limerick player. Yes, here we go, holding the ball, driving forward as he's done since half-time. I think he was fouled there. I think he was very
agree with you,
unfortunate.
Tony. My apologies. Absolutely. Such tension. Really is.
76 minutes. There can't be much left in this now, Darragh.
Absolutely not. Jack O'Connor and Liam Kearns, will they get to bring their teams out another day, or will we have a winner here? Colm Cooper getting the foot in. That's such an important challenge. Here come Kerry with Tommy Griffin. Colm Cooper has two teammates ahead of him. Now more joining in. Liam Hassett for Kerry. To Johnny Crowley, they have to try and close him down. Tommy Griffin again. Griffin had Owen Keating behind. Will there be a foul? He's over-carried the ball. It's a free out. We have to be heading for a replay now.
Yeah, I think they were unlucky there again. I think it could have been a free, and his interpretation was quite dodgy there. That looked a foul.
A couple of very important calls. That's what they're playing for. May have to be put on ice for another few days. Or will Limerick finally get over the winning line? Tension here absolutely unbearable. Here comes Damien Reedy. Reedy still in possession. Has Stokes inside. Reedy is going to have a go. Perhaps should have looked inside. And that must be that.
He still hasn't blown it. He's still looking around.
Well, we're almost over the 8-minute mark. Diarmuid Murphy with this kick out for Kerry. And there is the whistle for full time. We'll have to do it all again, another time and another place. Jack O'Connor is out, remonstrating with Jerry Kanibi, the referee, about decisions perhaps made, those crucial decisions towards the end. Jerry Kanibi, as you can see, getting a Garda escort to leave the field, but Jack O'Connor does not look at all happy with a couple of calls the referee made towards the end, but it's ended in a draw. 1:10 apiece here at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. A controversial finish, a controversial way for the referee to leave the field, but it's finished here. Limerick 110, Kerry 110. We've got to do it all again. Back to Michael Lester.
Darren, thank you very much indeed. They will have to do it all again. Drama at the end. The winning of the match was there for both sides.
Yes, and I suppose both sides would be happy enough. I think Limerick had a great opportunity, but I think it said something about Kerry. I think Kerry showed a lot of heart and a lot of determination that second half, inspired very much by Darragh O'Shea and his two brothers, and dragged Kerry really by their bootlaces back up into it. And you'd have to fancy Kerry for the replay. Limerick with a great chance of ending 108 years of famine. Strange refereeing, but a poor quality game.
Yeah, a lot of annoyed supporters. We heard the booing at the end of the match, but you know, booing doesn't really change.
I don't know. I mean, there were some bad enough decisions and soft frees, but it was a long bursting effort by Limerick, and the reason they
lost their chance.
They have. I think that the lack of composure, the decisions about the frees. I mean, they were 70 yards out, 65 yards. He should have been moving them, and then whenever they decided to move one short, they kicked it to a Kerry man. And the difference was, I mean, I think that when you look at the two games, the quality of the second game was vastly inferior to what we saw from Armagh. If Limerick had a McConville or a McDonald there, it might have made all the difference. They just don't really have a first-class, top-notch forward, which is all they needed today to win the game.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for the moment. We have a quick break to take right now. Stay with us for lots more here on the Sunday Game Live. We have Galway and Kilkenny in the hurling qualifier coming up very, very shortly. We have Galway and Kilkenny in the hurling qualifier coming up very, very shortly. We want to wrap up on this football Munster final. Before that, however, I asked Joe Brawley before the break, had Limerick lost their chance? He reckons they have. How do you feel about it?
I think they have too. You know, I was a bit disappointed with the Limerick performance. You know, Liam Kearns has basically been talking them up and has been very bullish all week about them. But, you know, their forward line displayed a lack of technique and a lack of skill there, you know. And maybe, you know, it's not easy. You're staring at your first Munster title for 108 years. And, you know, it's not easy. There's a lot of pressure on fellas. But I was a bit disappointed with the level of skill. And especially the second half. You know, all they got was 3 points in the second half. You know,
I know. One of the things that I suppose was annoying the Kerry supporters at the end of the match was the number of frees that Limerick got. Now, be that right or be that wrong, they had chances there to win that match. And in fairness, like, one of those frees could have slipped over the bar. Darragh O'Shea was very instrumental in helping them not to.
Darragh O'Shea caught 3 great balls under serious pressure. I think the last one was going over, only for that. But, like, you'd expect a forward line to win a Munster championship to be able to get more than a couple of, relying on 65-yard frees to win the game. You know? They had possession. They never looked like penetrating the second half at all. They didn't just play with that zest. It seemed as if fear and, you know, they crept back into their shells a bit after coming out and exploding out of the traps in the first
Let's hear from one of the Kerry selectors. Johnny Cullity is talking to us now.
We're joined by Johnny Cullity, Kerry selector. Johnny, you knew many happy days in Munster finals, 10 or 12 medals, but this is a much different kind of day for you. Very, very worrying, I'm sure, all through for you and your team.
Yes, definitely a worrying second half, but I thought our team showed the usual great character in the second half. I suppose we can't find Limerick to about 1 point in the second half, playing against that strong breeze. So we'd be very hopeful anyway. That was a good sign for the next step.
Johnny, much will be made, and rightly so, of Limerick's heroic display here today, but let's not forget Darragh O'Shea. When you look to Darragh O'Shea, he really responded today. The one man really who took the game by the scruff of the neck in the second half.
Oh yes, Darragh had an excellent second half. He's a fellow, when you're in trouble, you always look to produce the goods. But we're at the same time, we're satisfied. Like, there's an overall team performance. We had good subs that came in there today, and it will be a different game the next year, and we'll be fairly confident we might turn the table next year.
Well done to you, Johnny, and well done to Limerick.
Well, Johnny Cullity was always full of confidence, but that just shows you what they think about this. They felt they played badly today, they've got out of jail, and they'll wrap it up the next day.
He was a cool goalie himself, and I think it was his nephew, wasn't it, Jim, who rode best mate to win the Gold Cup for the last 3 years. But he came up the inside in the Gold Cup. He was a cool customer as well, but they'll be looking to that replay. They'll probably have Moynihan, they'll probably have Declan O'Sullivan. It'll be a different Kerry team.
Yeah, gentlemen, thank you very much for that. Okay, that's our football done and dusted for the afternoon. My thanks once again to Joe and to Colm. Now, Cyril Farrell and Larry O'Gorman are waiting over there in the wings as we look ahead to Galway versus Kilkenny. And that's right after this break. So far in hurling was the defeat of the All-Ireland champions Kilkenny